I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting for my life. I'm exhausted. Every day I have to fight. Every day I have to put on a face. Every day I have to act as if I'm all fine and everything's good. And my body just continues to degrade. My joints continue to break down. I can't even move without feeling like I'm going to injure myself. I'm getting a second surgery in January and then a third surgery sometime after that. And I can't help but feel I'm going to need a fourth one because my body just is deteriorating and I feel alone. I feel really alone. Nobody understands what I'm going through, because how could you if you aren't actually going through it? I was the healthiest and happiest I ever was, and now I feel like I'm going to be handicapped for the rest of my life. And I'm trying to process all of that. And this is more of an honest reality. Than what you're about to watch. But I'll share it anyway, since the show must go on, and I must go on. I wasn't sure I'd ever make it to this day. And I guess me doing this is a great sign that I'm heading in the right direction, because for the past 6 months I couldn't even, well, 6 months. I mean, I definitely have put up some YouTube videos, but there's been times in the past 6 months where I couldn't fathom putting this into words because my brain just didn't work. And that's a huge symptom of Lyme disease. Lyme disease is neurological distress. And throughout this video, pardon my ability to recall words and my struggles to speak in a good sequential order. I do feel like I'm still struggling with it to some extent, and but here I go. So I moved to California in 2020 and started a new life for myself in the middle of the pandemic, and was, for all intents and purposes, the healthiest, happiest, and just most exuberant form of self that I have ever been in my life. And then a year and a half to 2 years later, my health started slowly declining gradually to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. I could hardly get myself up to go drive 10 minutes to the beach and walk on the beach with my dog. And it was just, yeah. So to start from the beginning, I was having really terrible GI issues, and I was seeing a gastrointestinal doctor, a GI doctor, which, sorry, but I don't have great things to say about. It just, I don't know. Anyway, I went there. It was no help, but that doctor was very holistic, and one of the good things that she did help me with was understanding my emotional trauma impacting my physical health. And so ever since that point, I was like, okay, maybe that's what's going on here. I broke up with my family. I don't speak to them anymore. I ran away from this life, so to speak. I wasn't really running. I mean, I wanted to live in California and start this new life for myself because those are things that I wanted. I wasn't running, but I left things unresolved because they're not resolvable issues, and that can have an impact on mental health, which can have an impact on physical health. So I ran with that. I did things like Reiki therapy. I did a lot of self-work, which wasn't a waste of time. Was useful and it was helpful, and was important, but it wasn't the reason for my illness that was beginning. So after that, I started to see a naturopathic doctor for my gut health because I was having these vomiting issues. I was having very, very, very intense abdominal pain. And my digestion was absolutely horrid. Even when I moved here, even when I was healthy, I would wake up and have diarrhea every single morning. And this was very routine for me. It was just an every single morning thing. I would wake up and I would feel a very like strange feeling in my stomach, and I would have diarrhea every morning, even though I was perfectly fine and healthy otherwise. But anyway, so I started seeing this GI doctor. She helped me tremendously with my gut health. It turned out that I was highly sensitive to dairy and gluten, so I removed them from the diet. I treated H. pylori with some natural microbes, antimicrobials, such as pylorosil, berberine, and some other supplements, nystatin to treat some yeast overgrowth. And this helped a lot, but it didn't help with my energy. And at this time, it wasn't just my gut health and my stomach and my digestion that was off. I was starting to have the chronic fatigue of I'm always tired. And no matter what, I'm just always tired. And nothing she was doing was helping. I tried to supplement a B12 supplement. And none of that was very helpful. And the chronic fatigue started to really become chronic and really become intense and really take a toll on my life. And then from there, so a timeline for this would be, I believe, towards the end of 2021 was when I was finishing my treatment with the GI doc and decided to go a separate way towards the end and beginning of 2022. And again, I had been feeling bad for a while, so feeling noticeably bad where I knew something was seriously wrong. When I date back that timeline, it's been about like 16 months or so. But New Year started with the GI doc. That went on for months. About 6 months in, my hormones were crashed too. I had no libido. I was going to the gym feeling like trash. My joints hurt. I was like, oh, I must have low testosterone, you know? I had messed around with performance enhancements in the past, using testosterone, other steroids for bodybuilding, and figured maybe that's why. And you know, I hadn't had hormone problems in the past though. Even with the use of those drugs, you know, I've been natural for a very long time. I haven't been taking any substances. I'm talking years, like 2-3 years, and that was not a real. It was not really a legitimate reason for why my hormones were so bad. But anyway, I was going to the gym, barely able to get through the workouts. When I did, I felt depressed afterwards. I had no libido, was just no drive, all problems that are typical of low testosterone. The problem with this is that now I'm seeing that low testosterone was a result of the Lyme disease, but I'll digress and kind of focus on the low testosterone anyway. So I went to a hormone clinic to address this, and come to find out my free testosterone was absolute trash. So the first hormone clinic I started with was Transcend. They do everything online. It was absolutely trash, and I started testosterone because I don't have a fear of needles. I've used PEDs in the past. It doesn't bother me. I wanted to feel better, and it had been months. And actually before this, I actually tried natural means. So I initially tried enclomiphene and HCG, which can boost the testicular function naturally. And a lot of men that they have trouble with fertility, they'll actually take these drugs to help with fertility. But this did not help with my utilization of testosterone at all. It increased my total. It actually blew up my total to 800. But my free T went from I think a 9 to something like a 13, which is absolutely horrendous. And your free testosterone is a true indication of how your body is utilizing testosterone. Your total, is a good number to have and look at, but your total does not tell the whole picture whatsoever. And this goes for females and males. So after this, after I found this out, and to no avail with the natural route, I decided to start TRT and felt much better immediately. Sex drive came back, energy came back for a little while, but that kind of bump up in energy, sex drive, and libido and well-being only lasted for that initial start of the TRT. Once that happened, things started to go downhill very fast again, and my health continued to digress. And I was having body nausea, and the thing is with Lyme disease, you'll have days where, like right now, I'm actually, I feel pretty decent this morning. I'm doing okay. I'm able to talk to you guys. I'm able to explain things. But there's other days where I can't think about talking to anyone. I can't think about getting up out of my seat to go anywhere. I'm riddled with anxiety. I'm riddled with body waves of nausea. My joints hurt from just going to walk. It's a very up and down process and illness. And so that would explain why I had these paths of treating this and it got better. Because at the end of the day, you can treat the symptoms and you may actually have success with treating some of those symptoms. But if you're not attacking the root cause, then that's only going to last for so long. And unfortunately, the root cause was not low testosterone, even though that symptom did need to be treated, and I am in a better place with my hormones. After that, having all of these days where the fatigue was insane, things started to get really bad. Neurologically, I was having trouble recalling words. I was almost slurring my words. And it was very, very apparent. Some of you guys may, if you follow me, have realized and were able to tell as well. It was very, very apparent that my cognitive function was declining. And this was very concerning at this point. Throughout this, another symptom I had was urinary issues. I would go to the bathroom over 20 times within the span of 12 hours. I would quite literally get up to go to the bathroom at night and immediately lay back down and feel like I need to go again. And sometimes I would go 10 to 12 times during the night. Insomnia was another symptom that I had. I had to start taking trazodone because weeks of no sleep and health do not mix. It is very unhealthy to go without sleep. I mean, I was really on edge and really unable to function. I run a business and it was just, I had to start taking something. So I started to take trazodone, which has helped tremendously, thankfully. It's an SSRI used off-label to treat insomnia because it actually makes people very, very sleepy. So that was another symptom. And then I've also dealt with rapid heartbeat. Recently, actually, I'll get up in the middle of the night to pee and suddenly my heart rate will skyrocket as fast as it would if I would have just finished a hill sprint. I mean, insane, out of nowhere. Like, I'll get up, I'll feel fine. I'm not sleep disturbed in any way. Didn't have a bad dream, but I get up and walk to the bathroom and suddenly feel my heart just pounding out of my chest. And Lyme can attack the heart. It can attack, it can attack the brain. It can attack the nervous system. It can attack your joints. I've had partial injuries for a while from lifting weights in my hip and my shoulder, but these injuries have not limited me in any way, only to the extent of maybe needing to change things with my exercise selection or exercise movements for that day, and that being it. But ever since I started to become very ill with Lyme disease, those joints got significantly worse, which is why I'm wearing a sling. I actually just had shoulder surgery, a slap repair done on my left shoulder. I had a torn labrum. I have a torn labrum in my left hip. I'm also getting surgery on that. I meet with the doctor this week. And I also have issues reoccurring in this shoulder. I had surgery 6 years ago, but I'm going to have another one because Lyme disease is attacking my joints and it's destroying my joints. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. One of the biggest things with Lyme disease is you feel like you're crazy. It's not well studied. It's not well understood. There's people that don't even believe in Lyme disease, but Lyme disease is not a religion. There's nothing to believe in, right or wrong. It's not a belief system. It's a infectious disease that is harming hundreds and thousands of people every year, and not enough people are getting the help they deserve. Not enough people have even the funds to get the help they deserve, because this is not a well-researched topic. It's not well-funded. It's very much brushed under the rug. I couldn't tell you why, and why is not really important to me, but it is important to me that I say these things, because throughout my suffering with this and just seeing other people suffering and hearing their stories, I feel very much inclined to say these things, and hopefully can get you to understand a little bit what I'm going through and what other people are going through as well. Lyme disease presents itself in an autoimmune illness way. And Lyme disease actually can be the cause for a lot of autoimmune illnesses like rheumatoid arthritis, like multiple sclerosis. The symptoms for multiple sclerosis and Lyme disease are almost identical. I'm not saying that everyone who has multiple sclerosis is a result of Lyme disease, but I am saying that there is studies to back up that Lyme disease is the cause of certain instances of rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, and other autoimmune disease, which is why it presents itself in such an autoimmune fashion. And it quite literally is attacking the body in every way possible, including the immune system. And that is why a lot of people, when they have a big stressor in their life, or they get an illness like COVID or something, the Lyme disease may actually present itself more and become more infectious in the body, because at the end of the day, your body is fighting this Lyme disease constantly and sort of putting it in a dormant state, whether you are treating it like I am, or 5 years down the road when hopefully I'm healthy and I'm not actively treating it, it'll still be in my body. Excuse me. This disease has destroyed my life and my mental health and my sanity, my relationships. I was at the point of the pinnacle of my life thus far, and then just everything changed dramatically. I've been getting treatment for 8 weeks, actually 9 weeks now. I'm on doxycycline every day, twice a day, 500 milligrams, I believe. Tinadazole, which is an antimicrobial, antifungal, 3 times a week, twice a day. I'm on bacillin injections, which are a penicillin injection. I'm on that twice a week. And I am also taking a very large quantity of other pills to help treat my gut health and help avoid any issues caused by the antibiotics. Because as most people know, antibiotics can be very harsh on the body. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride. My mental health has gotten so bad that I'm going to a therapist now, and I'm gonna start ketamine treatment next week. And the good thing about ketamine treatment is it's actually proven and shown in the literature to improve neuron synapse and dendrite, this sort of degradation that goes on when the body's highly stressed and the immune system's highly stressed. So it's going to potentially be a very positive thing for me, both with my mental health, but also helping treat pain and helping with that neurological function as well. But yeah, it's, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people frustrated with the lack of understanding and acknowledgement and of Lyme disease and the prevalence and what people are dealing with, and It's real and it's hard and it's frustrating when you go to these doctors and, every doctor that I went to for every situation, the naturopath, I would send her messages frequently saying, I think I have cancer. I think something serious is wrong. I must have an autoimmune disease. This doesn't make sense. I was pricking my fingers, testing my blood glucose levels, convinced that I had some form of, if I don't have diabetes, I must have an autoimmune disease. I mean, I'm very in tune with my body. I've been very in tune with my body for a long time. Fitness is my passion, my life, and I embody it with my every single day, every single minute. I love it, and it is who I am at my core, and I understand my body, and I knew something was wrong. And I would send her messages. I would tell all of these urologists that I went to, hey, I don't think I have a weak bladder. I don't think I have a pelvic floor issue here. I'm having all these other symptoms, these weird things going on. Do you think it's related? I think I have cancer or something else. Then I would go to my next, the next doctors. I made appointments with rheumatologists and saw multiple rheumatologists. I said, you know what? I don't have pain in my hands, but I have all of these other issues in my joints. Why are my joints degrading? I'm 30 years old, I'm healthy, I fixed my hormone levels. What is happening to me? And no one could tell me, nobody. But I knew deep down it wasn't a coincidence, despite how many times I got told, well, it's just a coincidence, you're an athlete, you've been weightlifting for 15 years, you've done sports, this is just, it comes with the territory. But it wasn't. It was not why this is happening to me, and I knew that. And my naturopathic doctor had actually recommended a while back, during the process of when I was sort of in the summertime, when I was getting my hormones better, or maybe right before, we were doing things to fix my gut health and get my hormones better. I started the TRT. We were treating the H. pylori and other things. My digestion was improving. I did have improvement with things, which she had said, hey, maybe you should get this Lyme treatment test. And with everything else I had going on, I didn't want to spend $600 to do it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to put this off for now. But then we came back to it, and I said, you know what? I know something else is going on. Let me just take this test. Like, I don't even know what Lyme really is. I don't know anything about ticks. I don't know anything about any of this stuff, but I'm not getting the answers I want. Let me at least just rule this out. And sure enough, it came back. That I had markers for Lyme. I did not even meet the CDC criteria because, once again, in the medical field, this is a very misunderstood thing, and the CDC's information on this is very wrong. Most people think that you get a bullseye rash, and some people do, but it's a very, very small percentage of the people that have Lyme disease that get a bullseye rash. A lot of people don't know that it can be spread sexually, and it can be spread sexually. And more importantly, a lot of people don't know that there is a extremely high number of tick-borne illnesses outside of just Lyme. There's Borrelia, Babesia, Bartonella. There's tons of different strands of these tick-borne illnesses that can affect your body in similar ways that Lyme disease can, that people have no idea about. And so I found out that I did show signs of antibodies on this, and subsequently went to a Lyme specialist here in San Diego, and I've been seeing her for 9 weeks now. And she has helped me get into a better place. I am taking a bunch of herbal medications, as well as the antibiotics I had mentioned previously. I am not completely satisfied with where I am, and do want to do my due diligence to make sure I'm getting healthy as quickly as possible and using the best ways possible. I did find a doctor named I believe his name is Stephen Phillips, from over in Connecticut, and he is a tremendously intelligent doctor, an MD. Very rare for an MD to have such knowledge on Lyme disease, but this man has tons of personal relationships with autoimmune related diseases and Lyme disease himself, and he's treated something crazy like 200 or 20,000 patients, something crazy like that. And I've been reading a lot of his talk about the research and whatnot, and talking about different drugs to be using. And I'm trying to reach out to him. I'm trying to reach out to anyone I can to really make sure I'm on the right treatment plan and attacking this, because it really is devastating, and it really is. I mean, it's disruptive to my whole life. There's really no other way to put it other than that. But yeah, so here I am 9 weeks later after this crazy year. It's been a wild up and down. Actually, since treating the Lyme, my urinary issues have been further and fewer in between. I was correct, even though seeing 2 urologists, they told me to do pelvic floor therapy. I knew intuitively that wasn't really what was needed. I knew there was something deeper going on, and sure enough, there was. It's a shame how over specialized our medical system is, right? These doctors, to no fault of their own for some, it's they're just practicing what they know and where their field is. But there's, unfortunately for a lot of people, a lot of illnesses and diseases that cover a broad spectrum of things. But anyway, here I am, 1 surgery down. I went through a process of like real mourning for a long time, and it is serious. I mean, you're really mourning the life you used to live when you're going through Lyme disease and you have Lyme disease. It's tragic. It truly, truly is. I mean, you're truly processing grief at its core, and you're processing a loss at its core. I'm not to say that I'm over that, but that once consumed me for a while. Grieving the life I once had, and coming to accepting what is my reality, and still trying to somehow hold together a positive outlook that I'm going to be okay. That's been a process in and of itself, for sure. But I will say that I do feel like I can reach down and really grab a hold of myself again. And despite what I'm going through, despite the surgeries, despite all of this craziness, I just had surgery on the shoulder, and I expected to just have these 2 surgeries. For months I did. I tried PRP on all my joints too, and it didn't work. Thousands of dollars on all the treatments and peptides that I've tried for injuries, thousands and thousands and thousands. I've probably spent somewhere close to $50,000 this year on supplements, medical care, drugs alone. And still, my head is up. I'm still running towards this thing. I'm still fighting. I found out I'm going to need to have another surgery on this shoulder. It feels, the realization of this just feels like this disease is just still attacking my joints, and that's not a very pleasant reality. But I'm still fighting, and I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to roll over to this. I'm not going to let this define my life. Because I can't. I can't. There's no other option. I don't want to be engulfed by this any more than I have to. But the reality is it's this is the reality. So I hope this was informative. I hope that I gave a little insight into what I have going on. I hope that anyone dealing with this finds the treatment that they need. I hope that anyone who has unanswered medical issues seeks the treatment that they need. You have to fight for yourself. You have to fight for your own life. No one's going to do it for you. You have to see multiple doctors sometimes. You have to do the due diligence. You have to do what it takes, because this is your life you're talking about, So, it's not about the money. It's not about any of it. It's about getting healthy and living a great life. So, I'll keep you guys posted on more things to come. And hopefully as I feel better, I can start, listen, I didn't plan on advocating for this. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to give this shit the time of day, because it doesn't deserve it. I'm talking about, it does deserve it, but like, you know what I mean? It's like this thing has been so destructive on my life, upon my life, and just mutilating my every existence in every way. And so I don't want to talk about it. You know, I don't want to. But it needs to be talked about, and people are suffering, and not a lot of people even have the resources that I have to get the help that I've gotten. So, you know, somebody should speak for those people. And I didn't think that I would be one to do it, but I'm really starting to feel the need to, you know, the further I deal with this, and the more things that I see, and the things that I hear going on with this stuff. So, but yeah, I'll make more videos on this in the future. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them below. If you want me to expand on any topic in future videos, go ahead and comment, let me know. But thank you guys so much for the support. Any of you guys that have been with me through all of this, I can't thank you enough. It means a lot whenever somebody stops to talk to me or sends me a message. It really, really means a lot. Truly, truly, yeah. Thank you.